Phillip Hanssen has been arrested for espionage. And my first comment was denial, because I knew him very well. He had worked for me in the FBI. His office was right across the hall from me. And so I sat there and said, what did I miss?
In the dark world of espionage, where shadows conceal the deeds of those who operate in the margins, certain stories emerge as riveting and disturbing that echo through history. One such tale is that of Robert Phillip Hanssen, an FBI agent turned traitor whose espionage activities spanned nearly 2 decades. From 1979 to 2001, Hanssen wove a web of deception and betrayal that came to be dubbed by the Department of Justice as possibly the worst intelligence disaster in U.S. history.
Our job is not to bring justice to the most wanted. Our job is to bring the most wanted to justice.
Robert Hanssen was born in 1944 in Chicago, Illinois, to a Lutheran family living in the Norwood Park neighborhood. His father, Howard, a Chicago police officer, emotionally abused Hanssen during his childhood, casting a long shadow over his early years. Hanssen graduated from William Howard Taft High School in 1962. His journey then took him to Knox College in Galesburg, Illinois, where he delved into the world of academia, earning a bachelor's degree in chemistry by 1966. The twists and turns in Hanssen's early career revealed the makings of a spy in the making. His initial ambition led him to seek a cryptography job at the prestigious National Security Agency, a move that laid the foundation for his future in the world of intelligence. However, fate had other plans, as budget setbacks dashed his aspirations, forcing him to reconsider his path. Undeterred by the setback, Hanssen's resilience shone through. He set his sights on Northwestern University, initially pursuing a career in dentistry. However, after 3 years, he made a pivotal decision, redirecting his focus to business. In 1971, he emerged with an MBA in Accounting and Information Systems and started doing a job in an accounting firm. The turning point came in 1975 when Hanssen took a significant leap into the world of law enforcement. Departing from his brief stint at an accounting firm, he joined the Chicago Police Department as an internal affairs investigator, specializing in the intricate field of forensic accounting. January 1976 witnessed a crucial shift in Hanssen's career trajectory as he left the Chicago Police to head on a new chapter with the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI. The transition from local law enforcement to the federal arena set the stage for the unfolding drama of espionage in the years to come. Amidst the twists of his professional life, Hanssen found stability in his personal endeavors. He crossed paths with Bernadette Bonnie-Walk, a staunch Roman Catholic. The two forged a connection that led to marriage. Notably, this period saw Hanssen's conversion from Lutheranism to Catholicism, a profound evolution that added layers to his complex identity. On becoming a special agent on January 12, 1976, Hanssen commenced his FBI career, initially stationed in the field office in Gary, Indiana. The year 1978 sparked a significant move for Hanssen and his expanding family, totaling 6 children at the time, as the FBI transferred him to its New York City field office. By 1979, Hanssen's focus shifted to counterintelligence, where he was assigned the pivotal task of compiling a comprehensive database of Soviet intelligence for the FBI. During this period, in 1979, Hanssen took a momentous step in his espionage journey. Approaching the Soviet Main Intelligence Directorate, GRU, he offered his services to the adversary. Notably, he emphasized financial motives over any political or ideological inclination. The coming years saw Hanssen's espionage activities unfold, including divulging details of the FBI's bugging operations and providing lists of suspected Soviet intelligence agents. One of Hanssen's most impactful leaks during this period involved the betrayal of Dmitry Polyakov, a CIA informant who had ascended to the rank of general in the Soviet army. Polyakov, having provided extensive information to U.S. intelligence, fell victim to a second betrayal, this time planned by CIA mole Aldrich Ames. Polyakov was arrested in 1986 and executed in 1988. Although Aldrich Ames took official responsibility for revealing Polyakov's identity to the Soviets, Hanssen's involvement in this betrayal stayed hidden until his capture in 2001. In 1980, after Hanssen's wife allegedly caught him with suspicious-looking papers, he admitted to selling secrets to the Soviets, but claimed that the information he provided was worthless. At his wife's insistence, Hanssen promised to cut ties with the Soviets and confessed to a priest, who advised him to donate the ill-gotten money to charity. In 1981, Hanssen relocated to FBI headquarters in Washington, D.C., after being transferred from New York City. He settled his family in Vienna, Virginia, and assumed a position at the FBI's budget office. This role granted him access to a wide array of FBI operations, particularly those related to wiretapping and electronic surveillance, becoming recognized as a computer expert within the Bureau. 3 years later, Hanssen joined the FBI's Soviet Analytical Unit, specializing in studying, identifying, and apprehending Soviet spies and intelligence operatives within the United States. Subsequently, in 1985, he moved back to the FBI's New York City field office, where he continued his work in counterintelligence against the Soviets. During a business visit to Washington following this transfer, Hanssen resumed his espionage activities. On October 1, 1985, he initiated a significant phase of espionage by sending an anonymous letter to the KGB, expressing his willingness to provide services and requesting $100,000 in cash. The letter included the names of 3 KGB agents covertly working for the FBI: Boris Yuzhin, Valery Martinov, and Sergei Motorin. Unbeknownst to Hanssen, Ames had already exposed these agents earlier in the year. The revelation led to the arrest, trial, and execution of Martinov and Motorin, while Yuzhin served a prison term before being released and immigrating to the US. In 1987, Hanssen was assigned to the paradoxical task of investigating penetrations of the FBI to uncover the person who had betrayed Martinov and Motorin, a task that essentially meant searching for himself. Despite conducting this study without revealing his own involvement, Hanssen shared the complete findings, including a list of Soviets in contact with the FBI regarding moles, with the KGB in 1988. In 1989, Hanssen compromised the FBI's investigation of Felix Bloch, tipping off the KGB about the inquiry and leading to the abrupt termination of their contact with Bloch. The failure of the Bloch investigation, coupled with the FBI's investigation into how the KGB learned of it, initiated the mole hunt. During this period, in 1989, Hanssen shared detailed information on US planning for measurement and signature intelligence, MUSINT, with the Soviets. Additionally, he disclosed the FBI's abandoned plan to tunnel beneath the Soviet embassy's decoding room for eavesdropping during the construction of a new embassy in 1977. In return, Hanssen received a $55,000 payment in September 1989. On 2 occasions, he provided the Soviets with a comprehensive list of American double agents. In 1990, Hanssen's brother-in-law, Mark Walk, who was also an FBI employee and knew the Bureau was hunting a mole, requested an investigation into Hanssen's espionage activities to the FBI. Walk's concerns stemmed from his sister, Hanssen's wife, discovering a pile of cash in their house. Despite Walk's report and the ongoing mole hunt within the FBI, no action was taken at this time. From 1992 to 2001, Hanssen's espionage activities took a complex turn as he navigated the post-Cold War landscape. Following the dissolution of the USSR in December 1991, Hanssen, seemingly concerned about potential exposure during political upheaval, temporarily ceased communications with his handlers. In 1992, after the Russian Federation assumed control of the defunct Soviet spy agencies, Hanssen resurfaced and made a daring move towards the GRU, with whom he had not been in contact for 10 months. In a bold approach, Hanssen visited the Russian embassy in person and approached the GRU officer in the parking garage. Carrying a package of documents, he identified himself by his Soviet codename, Ramon Garcia, presenting as a disaffected FBI agent, offering his services as a spy. However, the Russian officer, apparently not recognizing the codename, drove away. Later, the Russians filed an official protest with the State Department, believing Hanssen was a triple agent. Nevertheless, he once again avoided arrest as the FBI investigation fell through. In 1993, Hanssen took further risks by hacking into the computer of a fellow FBI agent, Roy Mislock. He printed out a classified document from Mislock's computer and confronted him, stating, You didn't believe me that the system was insecure. Despite initiating an investigation, Hanssen's claim that he was demonstrating flaws in the FBI security system was eventually accepted by officials. Mislock speculated that Hanssen might have infiltrated his computer to check if he was under investigation for espionage and fabricated the document story to divert attention. Expressing interest in a transfer in 1994, Hanssen considered joining the new National Counterintelligence Center, coordinating counterintelligence activities. However, when informed that a lie detector test was required, he changed his mind. 3 years later, convicted FBI mole Earl Edwin Pitts raised suspicions about Hanssen, citing the Mislock incident. Pitts became the second FBI agent to name Hanssen as a potential mole, but superiors remained unconvinced, and no action was taken. IT personnel from the National Security Division's IIS unit investigated Hanssen's desktop computer due to a reported failure. NSD Chief Johnny Sullivan ordered the computer to be impounded, suspecting tampering. A digital investigation revealed an attempted hacking using a password-cracking program installed by Hanssen. The FBI believed Hanssen's explanation that he needed the password cracker to connect a color printer, resulting in only a warning. Simultaneously, Hanssen searched the FBI's internal computer case record during this period to check if he was under investigation. Indiscreetly typing his name into FBI search engines, he found nothing incriminating. This apparent lack of scrutiny led Hanssen to decide to resume his espionage activities after 8 years without contact with the Russians. In the autumn of 1999, he established contact with the SVR, the successor to the Soviet-era KGB, and continued to perform searches of FBI files for his name and address, contributing to the ongoing narrative of his clandestine career. The simultaneous presence of two Russian moles, Ames at the CIA and Hanssen at the FBI, created complications in counterintelligence efforts during the 1990s. Ames' arrest in 1994 explained several asset losses suffered by U.S. intelligence in the 1980s, but 2 cases, the Block investigation and the Embassy Tunnel, remained unsolved. As Ames had been stationed in Rome during the Block investigation and was not associated with the FBI, the search for the second leak continued. In 1994, the FBI and CIA collaborated to form a joint mole-hunting team to identify the suspected second intelligence leak. Dubbed Grey Suit, the mole remained elusive despite efforts that primarily focused on CIA agents. Brian Kelly, a CIA operative involved in the Block investigation, became a suspect in 1998. Intensive surveillance, including tapping his phone and searching his house, proved fruitless. Kelly was falsely accused, placed on administrative leave, and endured FBI interrogation until after Hanssen's arrest. Progress in the investigation came when disaffected Russian intelligence officers were paid to provide information on moles. The FBI paid $7 million to KGB agent Alexander Sherbakov, who had access to a file on B. Although Hanssen's name was not on the file, an audio tape of a 1986 conversation between B and KGB agent Alexander Fevelov provided a crucial lead. FBI analyst Bob King identified Hanssen's use of a quote from George S. Patton's speech, confirming his involvement. Fingerprints from a trash bag in the file matched Hanssen's, leading to his positive identification. To monitor Hanssen closely, the FBI promoted him in December 2000, giving him a new role in supervising FBI computer security. In January 2001, an undercover FBI surveillance specialist, Eric O'Neill, was assigned as his assistant, who was assigned to keep an eye on Hanssen. O'Neill discovered Hanssen's use of a Palm 3 PDA to store information. When an opportunity arose to briefly obtain Hanssen's PDA, its encrypted contents were downloaded, providing decisive evidence. As suspicions grew, Hanssen sought employment elsewhere and believed his car was bugged. In his final letter to the Russians, he mentioned being in a do-nothing job outside of regular access to information. Although Hanssen was suspicious of his promotion and felt something was wrong, this did not stop him from taking another dead drop on February 18, 2001 in Buckstone Park, Virginia. Observing this act, the FBI arrested him, and he asked, "What took you so long?" The FBI waited 2 days to see if any SVR handlers would appear at the dead drop site before announcing Hanssen's arrest on February 20. Facing a potential death penalty, Hanssen negotiated a plea bargain with lawyer Plato Kacharis. On July 6, 2001, he pleaded guilty to 13 counts of espionage, one attempted espionage, and one conspiracy to commit espionage. On May 10, 2002, Hanssen received 15 consecutive life sentences without parole. Apologizing for his actions, he expressed shame and regret for the harm caused to his innocent family. From July 17, 2002 until his death, Hanssen served his sentence at ADX Florence, a federal supermax prison, in solitary confinement for 23 hours a day. On June 5th, around 6:55 a.m. 2023, Hanssen was discovered unresponsive in his prison cell and was pronounced dead after attempts to revive him proved unsuccessful. The cause of death was determined to be colon cancer. Hanssen maintained a secretive approach throughout his espionage career, never revealing his true identity to the KGB or GRU. He consistently avoided personal meetings with his handlers, with the exception of an unsuccessful contact in the Russian embassy parking garage in 1993. The FBI believes that the Russians remained unaware of their source's actual name. Operating under the aliases Ramon or Ramon Garcia, Hanssen engaged in intelligence exchanges and received payments through a traditional dead drop system. In this method, both Hanssen and his KGB handlers left packages in public, inconspicuous locations. Despite his efforts to ensure caution and security, Hanssen occasionally exhibited recklessness. For instance, he once suggested in a letter to the KGB that they should emulate the management style of Chicago Mayor Richard J. Daley, a comment that could have potentially led investigators to scrutinize individuals associated with Chicago. Moreover, Hanssen took the risk of recommending his closest friend, a U.S. Army colonel, to his handlers for recruitment. Hanssen employed a coded system for exchanging dates, adding 6 to the month, day, and time of a designated drop. For instance, a drop scheduled for January 6 at 1 p.m. would be expressed as July 12th at 7 p.m. Robert Hanssen's espionage story stands as a cautionary tale, exposing the vulnerabilities within even the most robust intelligence agencies. Hanssen was only the third agent in FBI history to face accusations of espionage. His death in 2023 marked the end of a chapter, but his legacy serves as a stark reminder of the perpetual need for vigilance and systemic safeguards against internal threats in the ever-evolving landscape of intelligence and national defense.